What's up, guys? Last Monday, I finally got to see James Gunn's Superman, starring David Corenswet, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, and so many other people. And man, I gotta say, this shit got me like, Superman's back, baby. Like, everyone loves Superman again. He's no longer the boring Boy Scout. Everybody's posting their fucking Justice League Unlimited, My Adventures with Superman. They're posting all of it. Superman animated series. They're posting all the clips. They're like Superman this, Superman that. And I just gotta say, it was not easy for everyone to get here. And I don't think a lot of us thought we could get here. Superman's back. He's beloved. He's hopeful. He's the Boy Scout. Clark Kent is just as much a part of him as his Kryptonian heritage. I feel like this is the first Superman property in a long time where, like, I'm not gonna where like the early Clark Kent years matter. Like with the with Superman and Lois, like that's a Superman I didn't think we would ever get to, and we got to see it in TV form. And something like a Superman story where it's about him, Lois, and the kids, that should be told in a TV show, because only a TV show can do that type of story justice. And it's sad that they didn't get to continue their story because things were changing at DC. But hey, we got our new Superman, and we're finally get to see Superman in his formative years. Superman in a way that we only got to really see on TV, you know. And now we can get things going. Like, I genuinely believe when DC, and this is why it was so fucking stupid what they were doing from the jump with that last universe. Like, oh my God, like, if they had patiently built that shit up and did it right, like James Gunn is gonna do it, by the time they got to the team up movie, which would have been 2021 or 2022, the MCU would have been down. They would have been down horrendous because they were so focused on that Disney Plus bullshit. But they wanted to do it a different way. They wanted to give us they were so, like, Injustice is a great story, but it's probably one of the worst things that happened in DC for over the last 10 to 15 years. I'm not a big comic book person, but like, you can see it across all media what Injustice has done. It is the sole reason that evil Superman is so in right now. And the best portrayals of that evil Superman trope aren't really evil Superman. Like, Omni-Man isn't really evil Superman to me. He's like, what if the Kryptonians were alive and they were evil? What if the Thanos were alive and they were evil? Homelander. That's different because in the comics, Homelander isn't even strong like that. He's wearing a muscle suit, but that's another thing. Homelander, that's like what Anthony Starr is doing with Homelander is very different from this inherently evil Superman. But then some things come out like, that fucking shitty show that I can't even remember it. That shitty show that Netflix greenlit that cost a lot of money. Like that stuff. That's the shitty stuff. But evil Superman has been in for so long, and now we finally have a Superman that's like hopeful again. David Corenswet was so good in this role. He just oozes that like Boy Scout energy, you know what I mean? Like that hick farm Boy Scout energy, and that's what I feel like Superman's needed. Like they needed. I'm happy we got a Superman that focused more on his human side than on his alien and Kryptonian side. You know what I mean? It's not about the power, it's about the man behind the power. You know what I mean? And that's what makes Lex Luthor, his dynamic with Lex Luthor, so interesting, because he cannot believe that this man just wants to do good and genuinely wants to do good, and there's no other motive to it, and he can't understand why people are so drawn to him, so drawn to Superman. Crypto was fucking amazing. That dog was just annoying in all the best ways. The Justice Gang were great. Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific. I'm goddamn Mr. Terrific. Lois, like, when I see everyone making their character rankings from this movie, she's kind of at the fucking bottom. Like, the whole Daily Planet crew, like, definitely comic accurate, but other than Jimmy, I don't think anyone was really like They were amazing. You know what I mean? Other than Jimmy, and we now know Jimmy's gonna get a spinoff like of the old comedy they did where it's just him and it's just his adventures, you know. And Superman will probably pop up in that. We got a Peacemaker cameo. Superman's probably gonna pop up in Peacemaker season 2, if I had to guess. And yeah, man, like this is a very I like that this movie just jumps you into it. Superman's been Superman for about 3 years. He's 30 years old. That's really damn old, but he's 30 years old. And yeah, the movie just goes off from there, and you see Superman fighting on Superman's goons. That I'm not gonna really reveal, but you probably know he fights his goons. Big reveal, blah 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 blah. Superman wins. So yeah, I'm really just now I want to talk more about what I hope the DCU becomes. The DCU. I really hope we get that. They keep saying they're not gonna let Robert Pattinson be Batman, which is okay. And they keep saying they're not gonna be too. I just don't see the win in it. I don't see the win. If they're really gonna have another Batman, I don't see Matt Reeves' Batman trilogy going past 3 movies. And if it doesn't go past 3 movies, what? So the second movie that they've taken a long time to make is set immediately after the first movie that they made a long time ago. They made that movie middle of COVID. That ass. They made that shit 2020, 2021. It's going to be 2026 when they start making the next one. That's a 5-year gap. Not going to come out till 2027, 2028. That's a long fucking time. And then what's the next movie is going to be about? Is the next movie going to be set 5 years later? 7 years later? You know what I mean? Is it going to be just another Dark Knight Rises situation where he gives up being Batman for a long time? If you're going to do that, why the fuck are we making another Nolan-esque trilogy? But I guess that's why we're going to have 2 Batmen, so we can finally have our fantastical Batman. You know what I mean? I just really hope. I'm looking at them fan castings, and I'm going to be honest. Them boys y'all throwing around, I just want Jensen. If it's not Robert, give me Jensen Ackles. If it's not going to be Robert, give me Jensen Ackles. I don't like old Bruce looking so perfect. If this is going to be a Bruce that's at Damian fucking Wayne, can he look a little mean and grizzled? Can he look like Jensen Ackles? You know what I mean? I hope it's not one of them names being passed around because I would have never casted Ben Affleck as Batman, but then you see Ben Affleck as Batman, you're like, holy shit, this is really fucking good. I wish we got to see a movie with this guy as his own, but we didn't. So I'm hoping that James Gunn surprises us with this Batman casting. I really hope he does. If it's not Robert, but yeah, Superman. This is honestly going into my top 10 probably greatest superhero movies of all time. This is a definitive great superhero movie. And am I saying that because it's Superman? Yeah. But I feel this is a Superman movie where you can go, you can watch, you can look, and you go, yeah, that's fucking Superman. He's fucking awesome. Go watch this movie. You know what I mean? So yeah, Superman, I'm just gonna give it a 8.5 out of 10. Like I said, there were some things that they kind of brushed over. He went into the mirror dimension. They didn't really, whatever the fuck that dimension was, they didn't really save anybody. He put the Earth back together. We didn't really get any more on that. I'm sure we are in the future projects. I feel I've seen other people say this. Every nitpick you can have about this movie is the explanation is, oh, they're gonna do it in another project. They're gonna do it in another project. They're gonna do it in another project. And for its own standalone movie, that can be very unsatisfying, but I can accept it. So that's why I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Peace.